Hello, hi. This is Stephanie from Our Natural Wisdom. Just needed to grab a quick drink there at the beginning. So good to see you. Hi, Kay. Thanks for joining. Great to see you. I am joining today from one of our native gardens that have some gorgeous blooms happening right now. Our royal catchfly is absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually going to scoot out of the way just so that you can see it. It is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness, we are just loving it so much. Maybe you'll catch a view of a hummingbird visiting the catchfly during the broadcast. I've learned that hummingbirds are the only thing that can pollinate a royal catchfly because the throat is so deep, which I didn't know. So what a great thing to hear about this connection between two native species, the royal catchfly and the red-throated hummingbird. So I am an eco-intuitive coach. I love to connect women with the wisdom that you hold within and bring that out through deepening your connection with Mother Earth, because you are so wise. And if you are struggling with anxiety or perfectionism, this is such a powerful practice to be intentional with connecting with Mother Earth and your deep wisdom. So today, I have been feeling guided to share a practice that you may have heard about before. Maybe I'll have a different spin on it. And this really came to me as I was working in this garden bed actually just a few days ago. We had a lilac bush here in this kind of smaller garden bed. Excuse me, and everything else in the bed is a native plant to our region in northern Illinois. And I've kind of been hanging on to this lilac bush because I like lilacs. They're not native, but they're not invasive, and they smell good and they're pretty and all of these things. But in the recent months, I've just been feeling more and more motivated to remove some of the last of the non-native plants from our garden. And as I was cutting down the lilac bush and just thanking it for its years of providing value to the extent that it can in this environment, in this region, it's not native to the United States, was giving thanks to it for sure, because I have appreciated its beauty in so many ways. But it felt time. It felt time to let go of this particular plant. And I know that my analogy here is about plants, but this is a much deeper thing, because this is all about getting in touch with your deepest values and really understanding how that guides your actions. Hello, thank you for joining. And the thing that I realized as I was removing this lilac bush just a couple of days ago was that I have gained so much wisdom and have felt such a sense of empowerment through identifying the deepest motivation for doing something, regardless of what it is. Changing eating habits. I stopped drinking alcohol about 7 years ago. I used this method. Establishing boundaries with relationships that are challenging. I've used this method that I'm going to share with you. And even, things like gardening, I've used this method. And that is identifying your why. And this is so powerful because it is a practice of self-awareness and self-reflection. And it is something that evolves over time too. So your why is the deepest reason for why you are feeling motivated to make a particular change in your life. We often just go with the very first answer to that question when you ask yourself, well, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to, create more clear boundaries with my son? Why do I want to start exercising more? Okay. why do I want to stop drinking alcohol? The first answer to the question is a great place to start, but do not stop there. Ask yourself again, well, why? Just based on the answer that you just provided. Well, why? Why is that? And then answer it again. And go through this series of why questions for yourself. I would say at least 3 times, if not 5 or even more. And really, as you go deeper into it, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion and identifying, okay, this is not just about, like, for instance, changing my eating habits. This is something that I've really been working on in the past few months, switching over to a predominantly plant-based diet, which has been really great on so many levels. But it takes a lot of dedication and forethought and self-awareness and planning and all of these things. So you really need to identify your why when you're making a big change in your life like that. And when I started, it was, I want to lose some weight. Okay, well, why? Because I want to feel better about how I just feel in my body. Why? Well, because I want to fit into particular clothes. Why? Go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you will find yourself going through this practice that you identify some whys, some reasons that resonate really deeply within you. You will also find some whys that you can realize very quickly are self-limiting beliefs. They're whys that are based in self-judgment or, just being a perfectionist. Like I can definitely slide into that category when it comes down to making a big change in my life. And then creating this ideal for what I want to accomplish and making that change. And then, I have found in the past that if I'm striving for an ideal and using that ideal as my why, I can quickly lose momentum. And then that is very, then I can go into berating myself and being hard on myself. And then the anxiety gets, amped up, and the perfectionism gets amped up. So you really want to come to an answer to your why question that feels true. It feels right. It feels good in your heart. It feels even loving and compassionate towards yourself and supportive towards yourself. And you will find the more you ask yourself why, the deeper you can go into your reasoning for making a particular change, the greater clarity you come to. You can arrive at some beautiful clarity that will be a wonderful thing to lean into when you're in a moment where whatever the action is that you're taking becomes difficult. Like, if you're changing your eating habits, all of a sudden being, out at a restaurant where there's all sorts of things that you would love to eat, but that that's not part of your plan anymore. It's so empowering to have that why to always come back to. And the why that I landed on, was for changing my eating habits, was because I want to lead a long and healthy and comfortable life. I want to lead a long, healthy, comfortable life. And when I say comfortable, I'm talking about physical comfort, because I have psoriatic arthritis, which can really affect, it's an inflammatory condition, autoimmune condition. It really affects my joints. I know that if I weigh less and have less inflammation in my body, that I will feel so much more comfortable. And so that is the why that I landed on. Now, I will tell you that your why will evolve. Your why might not even persist longer than like a few weeks, and that's fine because you are evolving. You are evolving right along with your why. And that's really important to recognize, because if you do find yourself in a funk or at a plateau with whatever change you're making in your life, if your why is not motivating you and helping you find that clarity and peace in your decision making so that you can have really strong discernment in how you are choosing to take action in your life, if your why is not providing that for you any longer, it's time to go back to the exercise and do the same thing. Ask yourself why at least 3 times, if not 5. I think 5 is a great number. That's what I've come down to for the exercise for myself. And this, I felt like the plants were reminding me of this, because even just a couple of years ago, I couldn't imagine removing this particular lilac bush. It just brought me too much happiness and joy. And I've evolved, and my relationship with the land that we inhabit and the gardens that we have created and are nurturing, my relationship with those things has evolved as well. And so I found it really fascinating that, coming back to my why of restoring native ecosystems, restoring native plants and native diversity, it just felt like, okay, I'm fine with removing this lilac bush. And I know that's just one little example in the world of gardening, but it applies to all aspects of life. Any time that you are embarking on making a big change in your life, this practice will be really beneficial. And it always brings you back to your soul's wisdom, my dears. It brings you back there, because that is where the clarity lives, with your soul, with your intuition, with the deep love that you hold within yourself that is soul-led and heart-led. So right now, I just want to invite you to take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. You may want to bring your hands to your heart center or just your awareness. And allow yourself to receive this message from today's transmission, understanding that this is a practice that you have probably already done in some way, but this is about you're being invited to deepen this practice of identifying your why for making a change in your life, whatever that change may be, whether it's new boundaries with relationships. Why? Ask yourself, why is this important to do? Maybe it's cutting back on drinking or something else that you know that you're indulging in, perhaps as a buffer that really separates you from your deep wisdom. Ask yourself, why is it so important to make this change in your life? And doing this practice with so much love and self-compassion and trust that your soul will answer your questions. Your soul will help you come down to the answer to why that will motivate you from a place of love, not from a place of judgment or comparison or guilt or regret, but from a place of love and self-compassion, from a place of nurturing and groundedness. And know, of course, that Mother Earth is always supporting you in your practice. I encourage you to consider doing this practice of asking yourself why in nature. Could be just outside on your porch or in your garden or walking through your neighborhood or a park. Just having that, being surrounded by nature, will amplify your ability to connect with your soul's wisdom. and will amplify your ability to arrive at that clarity that will guide you and support you through your journey of change. The why practice, it's so powerful. I really encourage you to give it a try for anything that you are considering changing in your life, especially. I hope that this little teaching resonated with you and that you found it of value. I am so happy to invite you to click the link in bio and learn more about your free breakthrough session if you're interested in learning more about the power of eco-intuitive coaching in your life. You are so wise and you have such ability to relieve your anxiety and your perfectionism through connecting more deeply with Mother Earth. Just a side note, I am going to be away on vacation next week and the following week. Oh, thank you, Kay. I will be back the week of the 28th is when my next transmission will be. We're going to be on vacation next week, and then the following week is the first week of school for the kiddos, and it's going to be a little bit of a crazier week than normal, so I'm giving myself a little breathing room and break, but I will be back in 2 weeks, the week of August 28th, I believe it is, so I look forward to seeing you here again then. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye.